Struggles of modern women dating after divorce. Dating is impossible from Cosmic Verse.
So when my husband found out that I had been cheating, I really honestly felt like he wouldn't care.
After I broke up with my husband after a 25-year marriage, one of my biggest fears was that I would never find a man.
Women initiate 70 to 80% of all divorces.
A reality check for modern women begins after destroying their marriages.
I'm getting divorced this year after 21 years with the same person, but the idea of dating terrifies me.
Let's chat about dating after divorce.
Y'all want to know what's stupid? Dating. Y'all want to know what's even more stupid? Dating when you're 48.
The lesson here is the end result of ending your marriage is pain.
So after divorce, you're not damaged goods. And I think people come out of relationships thinking, who's going to want to date me? I've got baggage, I've been married, I've got children. And that's actually so far from the truth. People love you and love, people in all different shapes, sizes, baggage, history, it doesn't matter. So I think with dating after divorce, it's actually just putting yourself out there. There's plenty of ways to date right now, and whether that's online, whether that's in person, whether that's a friend of a friend's, but you've actually got to be in it to win it. So don't avoid it. There is love after divorce, I promise you.
So when my husband found out that I had been cheating, I really honestly felt like he wouldn't care. He didn't care about trying to save our marriage beforehand. And so I honestly thought that we would just split and there'd be no hard feelings and we'd co-parent with our daughter and everything would be good. And that's not quite the way it worked out.
I'm getting divorced this year after 21 years with the same person, and that's a story for another time. But the idea of dating terrifies me. The amount of horror stories I have heard, whether it's on this app or from friends, how are you all doing it? And don't get me wrong, I am nowhere near ready to be dating, but I just am in this.
You can kind of tell that she's excited. She's ready to get back out there, even though she's saying that hears all these horror stories about how awful dating is. It's almost like there's some glee there. Like she's just ready to get back out there. And it's that excitement, the uncertainty that really she probably was after. And that's probably why she initiated the divorce. The thing is, like, a lot of times I don't even need to know these people's situation. And just statistically, it's very likely if I make a statement that she's the one who initiated the divorce, the numbers back me up. 70 to 90% of the time, these women are initiating it. So, yeah, sometimes it might be wrong, but more often than not, I'll be right in assuming that it was the woman who initiated the divorce. And what seems to be going on here, and at least in a circumstance like this, is they get married, they do it, maybe they have kids, they spend couple decades inside of a marriage, and then it's almost as if they're like, okay, I did it. Like, I did it. I did the whole marriage thing. I had kids. And now, since I did it, let me go ahead and leave. It's like, I checked that box, did it. And that's kind of what it seems like the way these modern women are thinking about it, is it gets to a certain point to where they're like, check. And instead, what they should be doing is just sticking it out. But they just can't really seem to help themselves. It's like, after a certain amount of time, they're ready to get back out there. And while this woman here is talking about how she's so scared and it sounds awful to get back out there in the dating, no, this is exactly what she wants. She was looking for that uncertainty. She's looking for that excitement. She's looking for the thrill, the ups and downs. And that's what happens with a lot of these women. This is why they are initiating these divorces. I think it cites irreconcilable differences as like the number one reason. But ultimately, what does that mean? There was arguments. I mean, isn't it safe to say there's going to be arguments in all marriages? I ultimately would suspect that a lot of it just comes down to them being bored. And then here she is. She's excited. She's not fooling me. It's that uncertainty, the fear, the anxiety. She's excited. She's ready. And this is exactly why a lot of these women are divorcing, because they're ready to get back out there. They're bored. They want the excitement.
Exploratory phase of trying to understand what it's like. I'm not on any apps. I'm not anywhere near it. But I'm trying to wrap my head around the idea of being able to trust strangers.
And again, this is all very exciting to her. She knows it is.
That you meet through an app, or I don't even know, out somewhere.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, you're not fooling me. I see what you're saying here. I see what you're doing. She's secretly super excited.
I have no words. How are you all doing it? I would love some tips and tricks, or just...
Why does she want tips and tricks? Because she's gonna do it. She wants tips and tricks from other people because she's gonna do it. And why does someone do something? Because they want to do it. And why do you think she wants to do it? It's new and exciting, and she wants to get back out there. She wants that hot fling in the beginning, right? The spark, which inevitably will probably dull out in most relationships and marriages. However, there absolutely are things you can do as a man to keep those things there.
General guidelines of how you're approaching it. It's all new to me, and you'll probably see a few videos from me about this, because this is just like uncharted territory.
Oh, she's so excited. She's so ready to get back out there. And this is exactly why she divorced the guy, because she was fucking bored.
If it really terrified you so much, why didn't you work on your marriage?
Yeah, right.
I do understand her concerns, though, because everyone today who's dating is just miserable. But that's because they're rushing into relationships out of desperation. They don't take their time to get to know somebody anymore.
Okay, follow up on my date from last night. I looked on Hinge and he unmatched me already. So needless to say, I don't think there's going to be a second date. I basically had to ask him for his number. I honestly thought that we were like vibing. There were a couple like pink flags for me, like he didn't pay the check. He also didn't eat. I ate. He didn't really ask me too much about myself. But
Yeah, this guy not into you at all. That's really what that comes down to. He probably thinks, yeah, I can do better than this. Come on. She asked for my number. He didn't ask for her number. He really wasn't asking questions about her. Didn't even eat. Yeah. Again, he's just not that into you, lady.
But he did give me compliments about me and my looks or whatever. He didn't ask out to hang out again, so like that's probably a sign. But we literally talked for 3 hours, and I felt like it was actually not going too bad. And he unmatched me, so I just hate like the not knowing. Like, what was it? I just want you to tell me what it was.
Okay, here we go. I am seeing a lot in our community on dating after divorce, and there's two schools of thought here. There's a group of women that are thriving on their own and are successful and are in their genius zone. And then there's the group that are wanting to date, and we are teaching them to set that bar very high and to not allow it to budge. And don't compromise and meet in the middle, because you are lowering that standard. Yes, you're worthy of it. Remember that, and I'll explain in the next video.
First of all, you can't be 40 and delusional. Pick a side. I'm starting to think these so-called dating coaches want to help keep these women single. They're talking about keep the bar and standard high, like that's going to help them get into relationships. That's probably why they're divorced in the first place. They probably had all of these crazy delusional expectations.
Tell you this.
Just kind of sounds like immaturity to me, honestly. It's like these women are just destined to go in and out of relationships until they die, ultimately. Until they eventually... I mean, you're 40 years old. If you haven't matured by that age, there's really not much hope for you. And it honestly kind of seems like, and this isn't just a woman thing, it just seems like some people, if they haven't they haven't matured by a certain age. I don't know if they ever really will. But as far as these women going in and out of these relationships and marriages, I don't know. Just to me, it sounds like immaturity. Like this woman here, this divorce coach, I don't know what she is, dating coach for these divorced women. I would say that this is kind of just an immature woman, honestly. You can kind of tell, like right off the bat, pretty immature. And I think entitlement and delusion oftentimes correspond with immaturity. Those things all go hand in hand.
The first place. They probably had all of these crazy delusional expectations.
Like, do they ever mature?
Yes.
Oh,
I don't have time for somebody else's crap. Do you know what it's like out there in the dating world? Have you tried these apps? They're freaking terrible. They're like shopping in a thrift store. I mean, that's what dating at 50 is like. Who's the least damaged?
Yeah, but that argument can be like flipped on you too. It's like these guys probably think when they're on the apps, it's like they're in a thrift store. So you can literally just use your thinking and flip it on you.
Freak out there. And by the way, I have to turn around and ask myself the same question. People are saying that about you too. So that's why I don't date. That is why.
Well, me and this woman are agreeing on one thing, and that's how hard the dating world really is for these older women. It's honestly not even worth it, because everyone today lack the commitment to be in a relationship.
Hey, I saw a TikTok the other day, and let me see if I can recount it correctly. It was this clip of this girl, and she said, when you break up with someone, or when you're thinking about it, you're always facing two issues. One, if you break up with this person, you might come to later regret it and realize, oh, they were a great person. Why did I do that? And if you don't break up with them, then you'll constantly be thinking, maybe I could have done better. I think that's what she said. Yeah, she's like, you'll be constantly thinking maybe things could be better, or maybe you settled, something like that. So it's like, I think this is what's going on with, a lot of these women who eventually initiate divorce. It's like perhaps the boredom, and then they just think they get 10 years into it, and they're like, I think now that I'm bored and what have you, I think I'm ready to exit this, because I think, you know what, I think I can do better. I think 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I think I made a mistake, and I think I should have held out. I think I should have left him, because I think I could have done better. So I saw that and I thought that was funny, and it's like, wow, that is exactly how these chicks are thinking and how they're going about it. The grass is always greener. So if they break up with the guy, they're going to be thinking, wow, I kind of regret that. He was a good guy. And if they stay with him, they're going to be thinking, did I settle? Should I have stayed? Could I have done better? It's just the grass is always greener for these women.
That's why I keep telling men, if you're in your 50s and has worked on yourself, you will always be desired.
When I'm on a dating app and they ask me what I do for a living, I just tell them I'm a probation officer. Then they delete me, but get to find out who the bad and the good ones are. Follow me for more dating tips.
Y'all want to know what's stupid? Dating. Y'all want to know what's even more stupid? Dating when you're 48. And at the top of the list is dating at 48 during a pancetta when you've worn nothing but PJs for a year. This is gonna be fun!
She's right. I agree that it's stupid, because you shouldn't be dating at that age. You should be married. Because what's happening now is that these older women are competing with the younger ones. Dating for them is only getting harder.
Dating in your 40s after divorce is like, yo, babe, age is nothing but a number. Yes, honey, that's what I said when I was 19, too.
As a heterosexual female, I think we could all agree that the number one reason we are not dating is men.
As a heterosexual male, I think we can all agree that the number one reason she is not dating is because she has poor taste in men. This is a typical issue that these women have. They keep picking the same types of guys and get left broken, and then blame men because of the choices they make.
So here's the thing. These modern women, these types of women, they have a very inflated sense of self. A lot of them have been told for many years they're tens, don't settle, shoot for the stars, you'll land on the moon with these types of things. You absolutely deserve the highest caliber men because you are a queen, yada yada yada. This type of messaging, and they have fucking bought it. They are sold no matter what. They subscribe to this absolutely. And so here's the thing. I think this is where I might be a little bit different in saying that I actually don't think men like or are okay with dating down. And let me explain this to you. So what's going on certainly is that women are a lot more adamant about dating up than men are. However, I believe men, they like to at least feel like this woman is on the same level. And this is kind of where it gets a little bit tricky. So like with sexual market value, it's weighed differently between men and women. A lot of it with women, it is purely looks, ultimately. But with men, it's status, income, looks, masculinity, this type of, maybe not masculinity, but ultimately status, looks, physique, income. It's certainly weighed differently than with women. You know what? Ultimately, physique falls under looks. Throw that out. It's looks, status, and income. And these three things here, women don't really have. They're not really judged by that. It's really looks. So what I think a lot of times what happens is women like this will somehow, and I guess it's very clear, it's really just a situationship. These guys aren't taking these women seriously, but these women think they are. They think, I've got it. I matched with this guy, and this guy's clearly, he is out of my league. He makes more money. He's maybe more attractive. He's got more status, whatever. But a lot of these men don't actually perceive these women to even be their equal. So they're not going to entertain anything serious. And so I think actually what happens when men do date down, I hear this to be, I've heard this before where they encourage men to like date women below them in sexual market value. I actually disagree, because I think what's going to happen is that when these men do that, they themselves are actually going to be looking at other women and thinking, I think she would be better. I actually want her. And so this is where I think men are much more adamant about making sure they are at least dating a woman they're equal. For me, at least, this is huge. Because if I don't, and I've done this in the past, I've tried it. Tried dating women who actually were beneath me in sexual market value, and I would just constantly be like, I want to sleep with that chick. I want to check out that chick. I think when men can be loyal in marriages and relationships, like when they can be loyal to their woman, and they really don't necessarily feel that inclined to have eyes for other women and actually like pursue them and cheat on their wife or their girlfriend. I think when men won't do that, or they don't really feel the need to do that, is when they feel like their woman is of equal sexual market value. And again, like I said, it's weighed differently. But a lot of times what happens is these women are dating men out of their sexual market value. These men know that. These men know they're below them. So if these women somehow actually do get into a relationship with these guys, he's inevitably going to cheat on her or leave her. And this is what happens continuously. Yes, some of these guys who create content like this and I've done it as well, refer to these dudes as chads. But you know what, man? A lot of times it's not even necessarily the chad. It's just the guy is out of her. The guy has higher sexual market value than the woman. So I really do believe men should actually try to date women of equal sexual market value. But again, I don't. The problem is, and honestly, women should stop trying to date men out of their sexual market value, because what's going to happen is they're probably going to get cheated on or left. And men also shouldn't date women out of their sexual market value, because they themselves could probably get cheated on or left. It makes a lot of sense if we could just, if people could find their equal as far as sexual market value. And like I said, it's weighed differently. Relationships would be a lot better. People would be happier. That is honestly, when these people come together and they are of equal sexual market value, great relationships are formed. And that just doesn't seem to be happening. Frequently. It doesn't seem to be happening with these women a lot of times. They all, because of the messaging they've been told, they're all looking for this guy way out of their league. And it's just, if these ladies haven't discovered yet, it's not going to end well for you. You're going to get cheated on or left. This is what happens. And honestly, for men as well, if they date out of their sexual market value, somehow they got this chick, bro, she's probably going to cheat on you or leave you. This is how it is.
Number one thing I know for sure is that these women suffer with taking accountability.
In conjunction with my 5 favorite things.
And if these women insist on being hypergamous and dating up and out of their value, they better get used to the fact this guy might cheat, might have more than one girlfriend. If these ladies insist on being hypergamous, going after like dudes who have a lot of status, good looks, make a lot of money, then they better fucking realize she is going to be one of many.
About being single, I'm going to give you my 5 least favorite things about being single. Taking out the trash. Fucking sucks. There's nothing pleasant about taking out the trash. The juice dripping, it filling, you have to cram your hand down there.
And so this woman here is going to expect a man to take out the trash. So that's a gender role. And this woman might say, oh, I'm not going to be submissive and cook and clean unless you pay for all the bills. But again, these women are going to expect men to adhere to their male gender roles, whether that is taking the trash out, whether that is mowing the yard, handling things with the cars, negotiating with salesmen, being a handyman around the house, handling the more masculine things. These women are always, to protect them, my God, protect them, absolutely. And so even if you guys maybe are splitting bills or what have you, these women are still going to expect you to adhere to your traditionally masculine roles. And so that's why I think that if these men are in fact splitting bills with their woman, they should still expect their woman to follow her feminine gender roles. But just because you're not paying for everything doesn't mean all of a sudden you can't expect her to still behave and act like a woman. That's my thought process on it. Because they're still going to expect you to like protect them. They're still going to expect you to be the masculine leader in the relationship, certainly. And if you don't, they're going to punish you for it and say, "Oh, where are all the real men? Blah 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 blah. He's not a man. Men aren't as masculine anymore." But if you want her to be a follower, if you want her to be feminine and nurture, it's a fucking problem. That's the issue with these Western ladies.
Just, and where the trash bins are, like, absolutely not.
You are to expect nothing and tolerate everything.
And you have to do it really quick. No, absolutely not. Not for the girls. Being cold. When I'm with a man, I'm never cold. They're always warm. They're like an instant furnace beside me. They can be 5 foot away and I'm still like getting the heat resonating off their body. 3, I never cook when single, because when single, like, there's no amount of delicious recipe that's going to make me want to fully chop up a meal and cook for one and then wash like the 20 dishes that come along that ride, which is fine because the charcuterie board is a 4-course meal, but I digress. 4, being forced to be home alone when maintenance comes. I can't and don't want to fix it myself, but I also don't want to be home alone when the maintenance serial killer man comes, because he's obviously a serial killer. And finally 5, earthquakes, alone, in California, in your bed, at 4 a.m.
That's what it means to be an independent woman. Sounds like she's doing just fine to me.
Hey, peace. What's up? All right. I divorced my husband. Why did I divorce my husband? I divorced my husband because I was making a certain amount of money. I divorced my husband because I thought I didn't need him anymore. I divorced my husband because I had this senior position at work and thought I held the same position at home. I divorced my husband because I thought I was better than him because I had my degree now. I divorced my husband because I thought a successful marriage meant I was here and he was down here. That is not success. That's fucking sickness. I found myself divorced and out there looking for love in all the wrong places. Fucking this one and that one and that one and that one and this one and that one. And my body count going up and my value going down. I'm just going to call it like a TI is. All the while, my husband done found somebody else building a relationship and building a life with them. I should have stayed married to.
It takes a level of maturity to admit this, so I respect it. A lot of women lose a good man over stupid things like this. Women typically want their man to earn more money than them for whatever reason. And if they don't, it becomes a problem in the relationship. Even if you were treating that woman right for 5 years of your life, if you are not making more than her, those 5 years just goes out the window. That's just shallow.
Not everything's meant to last forever, so those that want to stay will stay, and those that want to leave will leave. Keep your chin up, Buttercup. Someone's going to come along and snatch you up and keep you forever. But until then, enjoy it.
Cool.
Enjoy the moments, because that's all they are.
You'd be cool with a guy that makes less money, but he's a hard worker, like he's ambitious.
Yeah.
Let's say he just started his own business, but he makes $45,000 a year. Would you date him?
You wouldn't be able to afford my engagement ring. I'm getting an 8-carat cushion cut vintage engagement ring. If you make $45,000 a year, it would take you 4 years? No. 8 years to afford my
how much?
engagement ring?
I don't know anything about rings. How much is that?
About $200,000.
Girl, you want a $200,000? Are you insane?
My ring has to sparkle from across the street. Like you have to see that shit. It's getting blind.
So this is the thing, right? What I was saying earlier, her sexual market value, according to her looks, which, like I said earlier, again, is pretty much what women have. It is what it is, man. That's what it is being a woman. Your sexual market value is very determined on your looks. So a man who can afford a $200,000 ring is so far out of her league, or his sexual market value is a lot higher than hers. A guy who can afford that automatically has higher sexual market value than her. So it's not going to work. This is a woman being hypergamous. This is a woman insisting on dating higher market value men. Higher value men in the dating pool. And if so, and if she is somehow able to get this guy, and then she's surprised when he goes and cheats on her, or maybe he even leaves her, or maybe he doesn't leave her, but he keeps a roster, and he keeps her as the main chick at home for whatever reason, because I doubt she cooks or cleans, so I don't know why she would be a main chick anyways. But what I'm saying, this woman cannot be surprised if she were to get this man, lock him down, and then he goes and cheats. But this is what happened. This is what is happening. Is these women start seeing these men who are obviously superior in mating value, and then they're shocked. Oh, he won't commit to me. All men are trash. Blah, 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 blah. Where are the good men? This same rhetoric.
People.
That's so superficial. That's like so superficial.
But it's about so much more than that. It's about the fact that you can afford that, right? I go to yoga with this girl who has an 8-carat diamond engagement ring.
Yeah.
A weed company and drives an Audi. So
she's probably hot as fuck.
It's about more than just it's about the fact that you can afford that.
Okay, well, I'm just thinking like you're gonna miss out on a lot of guys because I'm telling No, but not in a good way. Not in a good way. I'm telling you, like, if my mom asked for that from my dad would have told her to go find a new boyfriend because there's no way in hell he was going to spend $200,000 on an engagement ring.
For a 1.5, she's very demanding. Even if I end up in a position where I could afford a $200,000 engagement ring, I would never in my life buy it. That is such a waste of money. My husband told me it's him I'm getting and that's all. And I took him. Most amazing person ever. Most hardworking ever, won't change him for the world. Crazy, I got my wife a string for a ring, and we've been married and happily in love for 14 years. Will she be willing to spend that type of money on the same man she's requiring that level of standards from? These are the women that you want to stay away from. This woman want a $200,000 ring, and for what? She's basically saying, I want the wedding but not the marriage. All of these women who says things like this are the first ones to file for divorce. With those delusional requirements, she's bound to be alone.
You ever meet somebody and wonder why they're single? Cut to a week later, you find out why they're single. Rinse and repeat. That's basically dating in your 40s. We all single for a reason, guys.
Let's talk about dating when you're over 40. I have probably tried every dating app there is. And what I find is that if you are somebody that would like to go fishing, I mean, you're in, it's a winner. There's a lot of fishermen out there single. If you want to go to the pub with somebody, another winner. If you really want to drink a lot, that's a winner. Also, if you're like in your mid-40s like me and you would like to start a family, that's also a winner, because many men out there, what have you been doing, are all ready to start families. Oh my God, us women, we're done with that. We either decided not to have kids or...
Yeah, you can't. Here's where the cope comes in, trying to put it in her control. Look, lady, you can't at this age. It's not going to happen.
We've had them and that's it. We're finished, thank you very
And this is exactly why those men should pursue younger women.
much. What have you guys all been doing all this time? I want to know. So I recently...
They've been becoming valuable, building up in life.
listened to a podcast and it was all about how women have actually ditched dating apps in the hopes of finding someone organically. I mean, yes, please. I would absolutely love to find somebody organically, but it's pretty tricky. I live in a fairly small town and the pond, let's just say it's a little murky. So come on, I would like your dating tips and advice on how to find a guy, just somebody that maybe not only has a gym membership but goes to the gym or does running or keeps active, has all their teeth, enjoys their career, is passionate about what they do and doesn't want to sit in the pub all day. I mean, brilliant. Bring it on. Who's out there? Come on.
This is becoming a pretty common thing where women are now approaching men. And the reason is pretty simple. That's because men have stopped approaching women, so now they're forced to put themselves out there. Not even dating apps are helping them anymore to find the husband that they're looking for. They've asked to be left alone, and men have responded. Be careful what you wished for.
This is the dangers of TikTok and absolute thinking and talking. And I am guilty of it too, just FYI. We only have 1 to 3 minutes to explain certain things, and that right there is not truth. Women do cheat for more emotional reasons typically, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're out of love. It means they're in a really troubled spot in their relationship and within themselves and are looking for an escape.
If your woman spreads her legs to another guy, you need to get rid of her immediately. That is no longer your woman. Let her keep that man she was cheating on you with. You will be better off going your own way.
I don't know. Is this what happens when you're dating in your 50s? Like, I don't remember it being this hard. Okay, so I made plans for us to go to this concert. It's an Oingo Boingo gathering locally. And I asked him if he wanted to go. It's for next Friday. And he said, yes, I do. I want to go. So I got us tickets to go with another couple, 4 people. So last night he tells me, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to go because I have the kids on Saturday, and you and I got invited to go to a Memorial Day party, and I want to go to that party. But to do that, we're not going to be able to go to the Oingo Boingo together, which means that now I'm going alone because he's going to have his kids, because he can't swap the kids out for the one day. But here's the thing. If he wanted to swap out the kids, he would. If he wanted to make the time, he does. And that's where my mind is going. It's like I'm going a little crazy. My birthday's next week, or in 2 weeks, June 2nd. So Memorial Day weekend is like the kickoff.
All right, guys. Yeah, I'm done. I can't do any more of this. I have to end it there. That was a lot. These chicks are so... These are my friends. Yeah, these are all leftover women. This is how they talk. This is how they think. This is how they behave. This is incredible. Goodness gracious. Yeah, that's enough for me. I can't do anymore with this video, at least. So I'll post another video today, I believe. But anyways, if you enjoyed that, leave a like and subscribe. Bye-bye.